So this is the Insight ZE1 throttle position sensor. It's a 5K pot with a centre wiper which feeds a signal back to the MCM. So I had to mangle this one, unfortunately, to get it off. My old throttle assembly was completely corroded. There was no way the bolts were going to come out, etc., even though I cut slots in them. So I had to mess it up. Anyway, it's out now, and this was the faulty one. So I've had it connected to my oscilloscope and operated the wiper slowly as I can, but I can't detect any voltage jumping. But it may not react the same with an oscilloscope connected to it as with the ECM connected to it. Anyway, I cut the top off, and inside we see the carbon track. This is the carbon tracks, and it's obviously upside down at the minute, so I cut this off, and now we see carbon tracks on the bottom of this. And so we've got the two tracks here, and you can see the wear shine on the track there. And then we have the little wipers. These are very similar to the wipers inside the EGR valve. It's a very similar sort of setup. So I took some USB microscope pictures of the throttle pot, so I shall put these on the same post as this to accompany it. I mean, there are a couple of little tiny suspect areas, but it's very difficult to see. Now, I did slightly damage the track at the top here, just right at the top here where my finger is, when I was cutting it to get it open, because I had no idea obviously where this was inside the unit once I was trying to cut it open. So I just caught the edge of the track there. But all that aside, it's incredibly difficult to detect any sort of abnormal areas of wear. They're just a couple of tiny little areas that may be suspect, but you know, it obviously has wear, and you can see that on the end of the wipers blades, and the track there, you know, that is definitely wear consistent with high mileage, and perhaps it just wears out, and they just make intermittent contact perhaps. But I couldn't get that to show up using my oscilloscope to test it with, but maybe I wasn't passing enough current through it. Anyway, it seems to be working a lot better with the new throttle position sensor in my car, so I'm just going to leave it at that.